big hand please.
We have Director for Singapore Therapeutic, Assistive and Rehabilitative Technology Center, Dr. Ang Wei Tek, to have his few words with us. Thank you.
Dr. Ang, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello. Hello. Okay, good. Can I have my slides, please? It's awkward seeing my face for so long. Oh, it's me. Oh, I control. Sorry. Okay, sorry. All right, I'm Wei Tek. I am engineer by training, of course, mechanical engineer, and also I do research in robotics for people with disability and robotics for biomedical applications. Okay, today I'm going to share with you assistive technology in Singapore. I was told that I only have 12 minutes and it would be impolite to exceed my 12 minutes, so I better move on quickly. So what is AT? AT is anything at all that will improve the function. The keyword here is let me just learn how to use this thing. All right. The keyword here is a functional capability. All right. Anything at all to improve the functional capability of a person with disability. So what does that mean? That means something as simple as a pair of glasses, to exoskeleton, to anything at all to improve the functional capability. It's not to improve the body function. So I want to draw a distinction here that AT is not rehabilitation technology. It doesn't rehabilitate you. It just helps you to fulfill a functional task. All right. So that's key here. Why are we doing all this thing? Because we are trying to help people with disability. The United Nations say that there's 15% of people with disability in the world. So that means what? That means 900 million people. That's a little bit too much, isn't it? I think so too. So Singapore, we say that there's about 3 to 5%. But even 3 to 5%, let's take the median 4%, we're talking about 140, 150,000 people. That might be a little bit too many as well. Because these people, you don't see them on the road. I'm telling you that 3 to 5% is a conservative estimate. We're not seeing them on the streets because of two reasons, in my opinion. Number one, this is an Asian society. People don't get out that much. People say that it's nothing to be proud of. Oh, you have someone disabled in the family, you must have done something wrong in the past life. So people think of this thing in this way. I told parents, why don't you bring your kids out to enjoy the sun more? Why do I want to display my kids in the public display? So it's this mentality that people have here in Asia. All right, they don't want to go out so much. So that's one reason. The second reason being that the society is not ready yet. Imagine this thing. You go to the supermarket, the aisles are so narrow. If you're on the wheelchair, it's very difficult to move along. You go to say a coffee shop. There's an empty seat down there. All right, for your wheelchair to move in, everybody must stand up in order for it to move in. So a lot of Asian people will think that, oh, why should I go out to inconvenience people? All right, so this mentality that makes us, we don't see these people that much out in the public, but they are out there. And of course, this is the year that we break the world record for the number of people with disability. Next year is going to be another record-breaking year. Right, and the year after is going to be another record-breaking year. Every year is a record-breaking year from now on. Reason very simple. Number one, good healthcare. People live longer and they don't die. All right. So the role of a doctor is to save lives. And so what if you live on with some disability? All right. As long as you live on, that's the responsibility of the doctors. One example would be about 10, 15 years ago, Thailand passed this law that every single motorcyclist must wear a helmet. The year after they passed the law, there's a huge spike in the number of people with disability. Why? Accidents still happen, but you don't die. So that continues. So that's the reason. All right. Another thing that happens here is the aging population. People are living longer. All right. So Singapore, of course, we have the fastest growing aging population in the world. Aging population is a good thing. All right, we are having the best problem in the world. Imagine what's the alternative? Your people die young. So this is a good problem. So now we're trying to deal with this problem. What's the aftermath of all this thing together? You have a record-breaking number of people disability every single year. So assistive technology, right? So we think technology is a no-brainer if we think about this. Technology must be one of the solutions to help people with disability, right? So what is the AT model here in Singapore? What is the scene like? Typically, we have the client here, the person with disability, practitioners, people, OT, typically OT, occupational therapists. So they will see the patient, and then these practitioners, they will recommend AT products. And what happens is that usually the practitioner will help these people, this client, to buy from local businesses, which import them from developed countries. All right, so that's the usual model here. And they will also help them to apply for funding from the government. Of course, for those that are not qualified for funding or they do not want to get money from the government, they can buy directly from overseas, even from the website. So what are the help that the government is giving to these people? We have this thing called the ATF, Assistive Technology Fund. If applicant should be a student in school, preschool or school, or special school, it doesn't matter. A person in open employment or in national service. All right, let's go to one. To fund only for, To fund only for study and employment purposes, no other purposes. And up to 90%, cap of 20,000 per lifetime. Then we have the mean testing. We have mean testing for everything. All right. What does this mean? You make $5,000. You have a family of 3, and you have exceeded this quota. That means that you cannot get any subsidy from the government. That means what? That means a large pool of middle class are not eligible. You need this assessment report from a specialized AT center. So what's the problem for this scheme here? It seems that the government is doing something here, but all these things are not really enough. Let me elaborate more. First of all, the problems that we are facing here is that the local businesses are really low in professionalism. All right, they just buy and sell. They don't care. A lot of times, right, you need training. You need training. You need to teach people how to use this thing. A speech device that is brought in, you need to train this person, this kid with cerebral palsy. You need to go through training, sessions of training in order for this kid to use this thing well. But sadly so, it is not, right? We don't have this service here. They just bring in, buy, and then they just sell it to the consumer. They are getting very limited technical support by the practitioner. And again, they are not the seller, right? These are the people that are OT, they are helping them, they're not helping them to recover, but they not necessarily they know much about the technology. And many of these AT products are not designed for Asians. For example, speech devices again. Many of these devices are designed in the West. English, no doubt, we speak English. But good luck if you want to use this machine to go to a market, to go to a hawker center, want to buy laksa. Alright, the thing cannot pronounce laksa. Alright, American accent laksa, I don't know how it sounds like, but it's not laksa. So who would do that to localize the content? The market is way too small. Nobody with the right mind would spend money in Singapore to localize the content. So what would this? I mean, people sell things to make profit, right? So in the end, what we're facing here is that the sales volume is very small, and then the price are really expensive. How expensive is expensive? Let's see here. A transfer board, right? Transfer from a wheelchair to a bed, from a wheelchair to the toilet seat, a wheelchair to any other seat. How much do you think this thing costs? A board, a plank of wood. How much? 50 bucks? $80. Expensive, huh? Portable electronic magnifier. $800? $3,500. You can buy this in Amazon, come with free shipping. Good thing. See again, high days computer access. How much does it cost?
$4,000.
$35,000.
What the hell?
See that? See that? See why Singaporeans cannot afford? Because it's really expensive. The adoption rate in Singapore is very low compared to other first world countries. It's not that we are not rich. Our GDP per capita is $60,000 It's higher than the US. But I think here is that it's the scheme that's behind this thing that's been the trick here. We have the ATF, the AT fund, all right, the one that I spoke about. It is every year underutilized. It used to be 10,000 per lifetime. Remember what I said? The data is 20,000 per lifetime. It used to be 10,000 per lifetime. After years of lobby, the generous government increases to $20,000 per lifetime. But the thing about this thing, the key here is per lifetime. We are Asians, we are not Americans. Americans spend the money for the next generation already. We save for the future. All right. People think I'm in the 20s, maybe I need this money in my 30s, better don't spend now. Let me save for the rainy days. In the end, the money is underutilized. When we lobby for the government, 20,000 is not enough, 10,000 is not enough. Government say that money not used up, how can you tell me it's not enough? But the thing is, people save for the future. So we are being trapped in this thing that government doesn't believe that this is not enough. Imagine those things. $35,000 you use up your per lifetime altogether if you need that thing. So would you spend this money now? And of course, a lot of us are not qualified because you're engineers are middle class. Then is more than 1,500 per capita at home. So you're not qualified really. But to spend 35,000 on something is still quite something, huh? Right? And then there's another thing here. Must be for work and for study. Right, which means what? Which means what I said just now, aging population is the #1 cause of people with disability right now. So a big pool of from people with disability are excluded from all these things. Because why? Because they are not students and they are not in open employment. So that excludes a lot of people, and then people cannot use it. So why would they want to do this thing? This is a scheme that is designed to help people. But there are so many rules around it to ring-fence these things such that no one can misuse it, so that our public fund will not be misused. So much so that not many people can use. So we have a big leftover, and they say that it's enough because it's not finished every year. So that's the situation here. And another thing is that most vendors here are not profitable. The volume is too small, and it's difficult to make money in this market. Affordability, of course, is an issue, and then availability of domestic helpers is very cheap. Yeah, my mother do not need any room control, smart room technology. Everything is Amina, bring me the water. Amina, off the light. So that is an easy solution. So that we do not literally need solution, need this AT solution here in this market. More restrictive AT policy, as I said just now, and more than that, we have, in my opinion, HSA, Health Sciences Authority, made a huge mistake about 3 years ago. They want every single piece of AT product to be registered. Registered means that the first time you registered for that product is $1,000 Singapore dollars registered for the first year. Subsequently, it's $500. If you come up with version 1.1, another $1,000, subsequent year, $500. Alright, for one piece of AT, people sell 3 pieces a year. 3 pieces a year per piece, they make what, $200, not enough to pay for a registration fee. So that rule wiped out the entire AT market in Singapore. No merchant will want to bring in any more product anymore. Because the more you bring in, the more you lose. So if you go to a shop and say, I want to buy a wheelchair, they will say that this is good because they carry only these 3 models. Alright, there must be 10,000 models out there for a wheelchair, but they carry only 3. Because they only can bring in this thing in volume, the rest are not provided for. So that's the situation here that we are facing. The business in Singapore is pretty tough. And can we blame the business for not providing all these solutions to the people here? People do business to make money. Right, you ask yourself, would you buy a stock of a company that said, oh, this company is not making money, but they're doing a lot of social good, let's buy their stock. Would you do that? You don't. You only buy a stock that perform well, people that make money. By doing so, you're punishing the CEO, they're punishing the management team if they do good and they don't make money enough for shareholders. So people come into business just to make money. This is a fundamental thing, and we cannot blame people for not doing enough social good. All right. So this is free market here. People say that people in the disabled circle, people say that, hey, you guys are half-hearted trying to make money from the poor people. But the thing is, if you drive these people out of business, you don't even have the product to choose from. All right. People that is selling computer products, they've shipped in millions. These people will be lucky they can sell 100 units a year. But the bottom line is still the same. They still need to make money. So that's why goods are so expensive in this circle. So what can we do? So the alternative here, instead of buying, sometimes too expensive, sometimes not available because the merchants don't want to bring in, the practitioners are working with people like me in the university. Can you design something for our client? Yes, we do. We do that. We get some money from the government sometimes we don't give. Sometimes I have big grants from other projects. I steal some money from my other project to fund my little AT products here. So don't tell the government. So we do this all the time. So we do that because there's no ready funding, because we cannot publish papers. If we cannot publish paper, we cannot get funding from the government. But yet we still do. Some of these projects still go on. This is a scene here in Singapore. I would say that the sweet spot for this thing, most of the activities are in the polytechnic and ITE level, because this is the place that development is the key. And I'm very heartened to see that a lot of good projects really come out from ITE and from the polytechnic. Not so much from the university, of course. We must publish the papers. If we don't publish, we perish. So what's the problem here? All right, one-off prototype. Students come, design this thing, hand over to the clients. At the project end, the project ends at the student graduation or when the grant expires. Then you have something that delivered to the client. After sales service is non-existent. The client called me up, Prof, my thing broke down, can you come and service? One time, okay. Second time, cannot. I'm a professor. The thing halfway, I'm at AYE, the thing broke down, can you come and service? I don't make money from you, I'm doing you a service, and yet I got to have this responsibility to service you. So it becomes a thing that the more you do, the more you get trapped into this circle. And then when I come at service, my student left behind a lousy report that I cannot refer to. What should I do? If I don't do this, it's lousy professor. So it's very hard for this thing to be sustainable. And then eventually, many of these prototypes are shelved or even discarded. So what are the things that I'll finish up soon? So what are these things here? What are the things that I think Engineers Without Borders can contribute? There are this group of people that are excluded from our government scheme. All right, the aged. The thing here is this. This scheme is provided for by MSF, Ministry of Social and Family Development. Most people that government stroke elderly people with that fall down with some disability, these are under the care of MOH, Ministry of Health, different pockets. So the money doesn't cross over. So we have also another group of people that's been left about here. They are no longer in the school system, adult with disability, but they are not ready for work. So what should they do? So they are not even funded for anything at all. So there are a lot of room for us to provide AT solution for these people. And also AT solution for non-education and non-work domains. On the website of Actually Enabled, they say that we will not fund AT for activities of daily living. All right, it's only must be for work and must be for study. This is again a Singapore thing. It must be providing this thing for people to be productive. They don't want to, I let you live a better life, it's a waste of money. You must be able to produce something back for the economy. All right, it's always this mentality. I want return. My investment must have return. If not, then it's a waste of the public money. All right, so we are still stuck in this, we are first world country, but having this third world country kind of mentality here. There's another thing that I think that EWB can help here. AT customization and modification, something that we can buy in, but the merchant, as I said, they only buy and sell. Disability are not the same for every single person. So sometimes customization, modification must be needed here, but many times there's nowhere to turn to. All right, so perhaps the pro bono service that you're providing could be a good help here. Inflexibility due of the institutional projects, cyclic nature. We start school at a certain time. The client need this thing. Sorry, my school not started yet. Can you wait for 4 months for my student to come in? Hopefully they choose this project. If they don't choose, I cannot do. So we have to take care of this thing. If you can provide service when they need it, they will be very good. Funding issues. I know funding issue might also hit you, but the thing here is funding issue. Without fund, we cannot continue. Alright, the institution will ask, why are you so silly, waste of time on something that's not in your KPI? So if you can get money, good, you do something and get money in, but no money, why are you wasting your time? Alright, finish, 1 minute. Sorry, I'm rushing through.
Thank you very much.
So don't ask questions now, right? So you ask later. Okay.
No, I think we've
Time for questions. Firstly, can we give Dr. a big hand for sharing, for his honesty and very good advice. I like what you said.